These promises up there, the party's sure, and our induction full of prosperous hope. Lord Mortimer and Cousin Glenda, will you sit down? And Uncle Worcester, a plague upon it, I have forgot the map. No, here it is. Sit, Cousin Percy, sit, good Cousin Hotspur, for by that name as oft as Lancaster doth speak of you, his cheek looked pale, and with a rising sigh he wisheth you in heaven. I cannot blame him at my nativity. The front of heaven was full of fiery shapes, of burning cressets, and at my birth the frame and huge foundation of the earth shaped like a coward. Why, so it would have gone at the same season if your mother's cat had but kitten, though yourself had never been born. I say the earth did shake when I was born, and I say the earth was not of my mind. If you suppose us fearing you, it shook. The heavens were all on fire, the earth did tremble. And I say the earth did shake when I was born, and I say the earth was not of my mind. If you suppose us fearing you, it shook. The heavens were all on fire, the earth did tremble. Oh, then the earth shook to see the heavens on fire, and not in fear of your nativity. Diseased nature oftentimes breaks forth in strange eruptions off the teeming earth, is with a kind of colic pinched and vexed by the imprisoning of unruly wind within her womb, which for enlargement striving shakes the old bell down the roof and topples down steeples and moss-grown towers at your birth. Our grand down earth, having this temperature, impassioned shook. Amen. I do not bear these cards. Give me leave to tell you once again that at my birth the front of heaven is full of fiery shapes. The goats ran from the mountains, and the herds were strangely clamorous to the frighted fields. These signs have marred me extraordinary, and all the courses of my life do show I am not in the role of common men. Where is he living, whipped in with the sea that chides the banks of England, Scotland, Wales, which calls me pupil or had read to me? and bring him out. That is but woman's son can trace me in the tedious ways of art and hold me pace in deep experiments. These signs have marked me extraordinary, and all the courses of my life do show I am not in the role of common men. Where is he living? Clipped in with the sea that chides the banks of England, Scotland, Wales, which calls me pupil or hath read to me, and bring him out. That is but woman's son can trace me in the tedious ways of art and hold me pace in deep experiments. Man speaks Ted better. Look, out at dinner. Peace, cousin Percy, you will make him mad. I can call spirits from the vast deep. Why, so can I, or so can any man. But will they come when you do call for them? Why, I can teach you, cousin, to command the devil. The devil. And I can teach thee, cause to shame the devil. By telling truth, tell truth and shame the devil. If thou have power to raise him, bring him hither, and I'll be sworn I have power to shame him hence. Oh, while you live, tell truth and shame the devil. Come, come, no more of this unprofitable chat. Come, come, no more of this unprofitable chat. 3 times had Hillary Bolingbroke made headed against my power. Thrice from the banks of wine, sandy bottoms, Severn have I sent him. Bootless home and weather-beaten back, home without boots and in foul weather too. Housecape he agues in the devil's name. Come, here's the map. Shall we divide our right according to our threefold order, town upon? Here's the map. Shall we divide our right according to our threefold order, town upon? Come, here's the map. Shall we divide our right according to our threefold order, town upon?
The Archdeacon hath divided it into three limits very equally. England from Trenton severed hitherto by south and east is to my part assigned. All westward Wales beyond the severed shore, and all the fertile land within that bound to Owen Glender. And here goes to you the remnant northward, lying off from Trent, and our indentures tripartite are drawn, which being sealed interchangeably, a business that this night may execute tomorrow. Cousin Percy, you and I and my good lord of Worcester will set forth to meet your father and the Scottish power, as is appointed us at Shrewsbury. My father Glandower is not ready yet, not shall we need his help these 14 days within that space you may have drawn together, your tenants, friends, and neighboring gentlemen.
Shorter time shall send me to your lords, and in my conduct shall your ladies come, from whom you now must steal and take no leave. For there will be a world of watershed upon the parting of your wives and you. Methinks my moiety north from Burton here in quantity equals not one of yours. See how this river comes me cranking in, and cuts me from the best of all my land. A huge half moon, a monstrous cattle out. I'll have the current in this place dammed up, and here the smug and silver Trent shall run in a new channel, fair and evenly. It shall not win with such a deep indent to rob me of so rich a bottom here. To rob me of so rich a bottom here. Not when the shell is left, you see it, Doc? Yeah, but mark how he bears his course and runs me up like a bandit. On the other side, killing the opposed continent as much as on the other side it takes from you. Yeah, but a little charge with trenching here, and on this north side win this cape of land, and then he runs straight and even at win. But a little charge with trenching here, on this north side win this cape of land, and then he runs straight and even win. I'll have it so, a little charge will do it.
And that will all to do it.
I'll not have it all through.
Will not you?
No, no, you shall not.
Who shall say me nay?
Who shall say me nay?
Who shall say me nay?
Why, that will I.
Let me not understand you.
Then speak it in Welsh, Welsh, speak in Welsh. I can speak English, Lord, as well as you, for I was trained up in the English court, where being but young, I prayed to the heart. Many an English did he love me well, and gave the tongue a helpful ornament, a virtue that was never seen in you. Mary, and when of all my heart I'd rather be a kitten and cry mew than one of these same-natured ballad mongers. I had rather hear a brazen catstick turn or a dry wheel grate on the axle tree, and that would set the teeth nothing on edge, nothing so much as mincing poetry, just like the forced gait of a shuffling nag. How you should have trapped her.
shall have to return. Come, you shall have to return. I do not care, I'll give Christ so much land to any well-deserving friend. But in the way of bargain mark he leaves, I'll cavil on the ninth part of a hair or the indentures drawn. Shall we be gone? The moon shines fair, you may away by night. I'll haste the rider and look off with your wives of your departure hence. I am afraid my daughter will run mad, so much she doted on her mortal mirth. I cannot choose a town, he angers me with telling me of the mole-warp and the ant, of the dream of Merlin and his prophecies, and of a dragon and a finless fish, a clip-winged griffin and a molten raven, a couching lion and a ramping cat, and such a deal of skimble-scamble stuff as puts me from my faith. I tell you what, he held me last night at least 9 hours in reckoning up the several devils' names that were his lackeys. I cried hum and well go to, but marked him not a word, always his keys. As a tired horse, a railing wife, worse than a smoky house. I had rather live with cheese and garlic in a windmill far than feed on cakes and have him talk to me in any summer house in Christendom. In faith he is a worthy gentleman, exceedingly well-read and profited in strange concealments, valiant as a lion, and as wondrous affable, and as bountiful as mines of India. Shall I tell you, cousin? He holds your temper in a high respect and curbs himself even of his natural scope. When you come across his humor faith, he does. I warn you, that man is not alive. I'd so have tempted him as you have done, without the taste of danger and reproof. But do not use it oft, let me entreat you. In faith, my Lord, you are too willful blind, and since you're coming hither and done enough to put him quite beside his patience, you must needs learn, Lord, to amend this fault. Though sometimes it show greatness, courage, blood, and that's the dearest grace it renders you. government price range. Defect of manners, want of government pride, haughtiness, opinion and disdain. The least of which haunting a nobleman loseth men's hearts, leaves behind a stain upon the beauty of our parts, besides beguiling them a commendation. Well, I in school, good manners be yours be. Here come our wives, and let us take our leave. This is the deadly spite that angers me. My wife can't speak no English, I know Welsh. My daughter weeps, she will not part with you. She'll be a soldier too, she'll to the wars. Good father, tell her that she and my Aunt Percy shall follow in your conduct speedily. She is desperate here, a peevish self-win harlotry, one that no persuasion can do good upon. She is desperate here, peevish self-win harlotry, one that no persuasion can do good upon. I understand my love that pretty Welsh, which thou pourest down from these swelling heavens. I am the perfect king, and but for shame, in such a parley should I answer thee. I understand thy kisses, and now mine, and that's a feeling disputation. But I will never be a true in love till I have learned thy language, for thy tongue makes Welsh as sweet as ditties highly bent, sung by a fair queen in a summer's bower, with ravishing division to her lute.
Nay, if you melt, then will she run mad.
Oh, I am ignorance itself in this. Nay, if you melt, then will she run mad? Oh, I am ignorance itself in this. They chew on the bones and rushes lay you down, and rest your gentle head upon her lap, and she will sing a song that pleaseth you, and on your eyelids crown the god of sleep, charming your blood with pleasing heaviness, making such difference twixt wake and sleep, as is the difference betwixt day and night, the hour before the heavenly harnessing begins his golden progress in the east. With all my heart I'll sit and hear her sing,
By that time will our book, I think, be drawn. If so, and those musicians that shall play to you hang in the air 1,000 leagues from hence, and straight they shall be here, sit and attest.
Hey, cowboy, perfect in line down. Quick, that I may lay my head in thy lap.
Go, you giddy goose.
Now I perceive the devil understands Welsh, and 'tis no marvel he is so humorous. My lady, he is a good musician.
Then should you be nothing but musical, for you are altogether governed by humor's lie still, you see. And hear the lady sing in Welsh.
I had rather hear Lady Monbrach howl in Irish.
Wouldst thou have thy head broken?
No,
Then be still.
neither, 'tis a woman's fault.
Now God help thee!
To the Welsh, the lady's bed.
What's that?
Hey, she sings. Come, Kate, I'll have your song too.
Not mine in good sooth.
Not yours in good sooth. Hark! You swear like a confident maker's wife. Not you in good sooth. And as true as I live, and as God shall mend me, and as sure as day. And give us such snake surety for thy oaths, as if thou never walkst further than Finsbury. Swear me, Kate, like a lady as thou art, a good mouth filling oath, and leave in sooth. And such protest of pepper gingerbread to velvet guards and Sunday citizens. Come sing. I will not sing. 'Tis the next way to turn terror, or be red-breast teacher, and the indentures be drawn. I'll away within these 2 hours, and so come in when you will.
Oh, come, Lord Mortimer, you are slow. As hot, Lord Percy is on fire to go. By this our book is drawn, we'll but seal, and then to horse immediately. With all my heart, with all my heart, with all my heart, with all my heart, with all my heart. With all my heart, with all my heart, with all my heart, with all my heart, with all my heart.